Welcome to this week's episode, Three-Man Power Trip. We're doing the NFC South. We've been out for a couple weeks because something's been going on. Can't recall what it is.
Coronavirus.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. But we're going to try to get some videos in this week, and hopefully, we'll be back on track here soon. We're going to start with the division winner from last year, the NFC South, the New Orleans Saints. They went 13-3. And going into free agency, they had 5 starters that were going to be free agents, and they were a little busy in free agency.
They ended up locking Brees back up.
They locked Brees up for 2 years, $50 million. They picked up Emmanuel Sanders.
That was a shocker. I figured he was going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he got 2 years, $16 million. Andres Pete, their guard, they re-signed him. And David... What's his name? David Anamata. He's a defensive tackle. They re-signed him. Meanwhile, the losses, they lost Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, that was about I seen that coming though.
He went to the Panthers. Eli Apple went to the Raiders, and Von Bell went to the Bengals. Overall, I don't know. They got Emmanuel Sanders, really. They re-signed a couple of their own players.
Now, I think the biggest thing is this kind of like New England? Should they have passed the torch to Teddy instead of re-signed Brees?
I think that's what they should have done.
Yeah, because you're locking Brees up for a couple more years, but...
He's got another maybe 2, and then what? Is it Taysom Hill?
He's only getting older. And
Taysom Hill's a free agent too, but he's a restricted free agent.
Mm-hmm. They got a first round on him.
There's not a first rounder.
I don't think anybody's going to give that first rounder.
I don't think so either. Happen. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they should have went with the younger Bridgewater. Hell, maybe they do have a plan in the works. Mm-hmm. Maybe, they're saying, hey, let Bridgewater walk, do his own thing. Maybe they're going to draft somebody.
They could draft like Jordan Love or somebody like that, maybe at the end. They're not going to get Tua, unless they trade up. But I don't see that happening.
So from what I'm seeing, they only have like $9.6 million cap remaining.
That was give or take pending. Signings.
Pending the signings.
Team need.
That was before the Emmanuel Sanders one, I think.
Right.
So that's 8 right there.
Team need. They had receiver, corner, and quarterback. They got Sanders. So really, they Brees replacement and then the corner.
Yeah, they got a corner.
And that's kind of what I'm seeing as well is they don't have really much to work with, so then they're going to have to work in the draft. They went 13-3, so they had a hell of a record. They're going to be drafting late.
And I don't think Taysom Hill, I think he's a good gadget player, mm-hmm. but the guy's 30 years old.
Right, and
he
hasn't much.
He hasn't done much up until last year or so.
Right. He hasn't done much under center.
No.
As an actual full-time quarterback.
He's a good player to come in there and do a couple trick plays. And
that's how they used him, and that's how he made his name.
Even that, Teddy was 28, going to be 29.
Yeah.
Teddy was even younger.
So Teddy was younger with and he had a flawless record.
And
they were ugly wins, but they were wins.
And I get why some of these teams want to keep quarterbacks past their prime sometimes because they've done so. He won them a Super Bowl, and they're competitive every year ever since he's been there.
Right.
But there comes a point where you got to think about the franchise, not about your loyalty to a player sometimes.
I agree.
I think that's the thing. Teddy's not a bad quarterback. He played well in the system. Obviously, Brees, you're locked in to get in the playoffs pretty much. You can't really go wrong either way.
They still got a good team. I would imagine, unless a team we talk about later, the Buccaneers, takes over this division. We'll get into that, but
I think they'll be contenders.
I agree. I think that they're going to be contenders. Do I see a 13-3 repeat? Not necessarily. I'm seeing a little drop off, maybe 11-5.
Well, I think before too long you're going to see a Brees drop off.
Right, just kind of how Brady did.
Yeah.
They still went 12-4 with him, but his play dropped off. But you're saying Brees is going to start seeing that.
I think it's coming.
Kind of drop off.
Even something too. If something were to happen, Brees got hurt again. Who's the quarterback? Is it Hill?
It would have to be Taysom at this point, but
because nobody's giving up a first round pick. That's not going to happen. So he'll be there next year, but
But yeah, I mean
that's. And then you'll see if he is a starter because.
I think it's one thing too. I
agree.
I think his salary is it's like $4.1 million for a backup quarterback.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyways, I'm seeing them right at the top of the division.
I'd say,
if not winning the division, at least sniffing the top.
What do you say?
They'll be right there.
We say probably 10-6 and up, 10-6 to 12 and 4.
10-11 wins maybe. Yeah.
I said 11-5. That's my official guess. This is pre-draft.
I think it'll be a fight between two teams.
Mm-hmm. And, that's all we got for the Saints.
Yep.
Check out episode 2 coming up.